グレートがユナイテッドエンパイア。今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるよ。みんな、ブローキンテーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. This is episode number 97 with your AEW Dynamite review. I'm your host, Jeffrey Vegas, here as always with our co-host, the reigning, defending Broken Predictions champion, King Rome. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty damn good.
That's excellent to hear. Excellent to hear. That is a freaking dope Zelda shirt you got on there. It's very rare to see him in the blue garb.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, what an amazing episode of Dynamite here tonight. I thought this was one of the best episodes we've seen in weeks, possibly months. I was blown away at there was a couple of moments tonight here in this episode that I was just blown away in my seat. Absolutely loved everything that was happening here. What's going on, Miyaja? Welcome to everybody in chat who are watching over on YouTube. Miyaja says, the Acclaimed is quickly becoming my new favorite modern tag team. Man, that match was incredible. Of course, we'll get to that, towards the end of the show when we get to that in the review. But yeah, these guys are unbelievably amazing. Rome, I know they're one of your favorites.
At the end of the day, I don't like to toot my own horn, when it comes to these things. But I know how to fucking pick these guys. I know how to pick them. I remember when the Acclaim first started, and I was like, these are going to be the guys. Like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like the same thing happened with Orange Cassidy, amongst others. I was just like, obviously, I'm not like day one, like in their careers, calling it out, but I'm like, like in terms of AEW, I'm sitting here like, oh, that's something. They have it, and here we are. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
It's really awesome to see, and I do have words about it later in the main event, but special night for them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with the beginning of the show here. We start off right away with the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ladder match. I'm going to run through all the participants here. Only a couple of people got entrances. The entrances were for Ricky Starks, of course. Jungle Boy Jack Perry got a entrance there. And then Dustin Rhodes. That one kind of shocked me. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, yeah, the better Rhodes brother. Fuck the other guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So, a few things. Number one, did you realize what you said at the beginning of this?
What did I say?
You said that this was the Dynamite Diamond ladder match.
Oh, I said ladder match, didn't I?
You did say
ladder match. My bad. That was not a ladder match. I apologize.
Number two,
it was the Battle Royale.
Number two, they were in Texas tonight. Dustin Rhodes is from Texas.
Makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, I mean, also, Dustin recently said that 2023 is going to be his last year wrestling. So,
why the hell did I say ladder match? I must have been watching some ladder matches or something. I don't know. But the other participants were Orange Cassidy, Ethan Page, the Butcher, Captain Sean Dean, Dalton Castle, Kip Sabian, Lee Moriarty, Brian Cage, and Matt Hardy. Was there anybody that I did not mention? I'm pretty sure I got everybody there, but if you can think of
I,
someone, let me know.
I think you generally got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the Blade was going to be in there, but he was just on the outside kind of messing with everybody. This was a great over-the-top battle royale. I had a lot of fun watching this one, especially when we got down to that final 3. You know, I do have to say I was very shocked that Orange Cassidy was the first one out of here, even though, like, you know, the Butcher and the Blade kind of teamed up on him, and I don't know, what did you think about Orange going out first here?
Well, first of all, what up to Darth Gillies in the chat? He's saying, "What's up, guys? Hope all is well. I'm watching the main event right now. Great match so far. Yeah, you're in for a treat.
Oh,
It's
it
a
gets even better.
phenomenal match." um, I, I'm not super upset about Orange Cassidy getting eliminated. First, I had a few issues with this match, and like as much as I love this episode of Dynamite, this match I had some issues with. The first being, I felt like there was way too much outside interference in this battle royal.
Yes.
There was too many spots that were just too similar, and Orange Cassidy was one of those spots where they had the Blade eliminated Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Big
at least
Bill,
that was the first of those interruption type interference things, but then they just kept doing them. Yeah.
yeah, Big Bill Morrissey like eliminated shoot, who did he eliminate? I'm having a brain fart, Jeff. Save me.
Here I actually have some of them written down.
Yeah. Who was it? It was Jack
Cassidy
Perry.
was the first one out. He eliminated Kip Sabian right away, I think.
Okay.
And then Dustin was out third. I think it was Dustin. So, yeah,
Okay.
Morrissey eliminated Dustin. Yeah,
So-
Santa being at ringside was great all night.
So was Jesus. Jesus was right next to him.
Jesus was there? I didn't even see him.
Well, yeah. Jeff.
I guess I was just focusing on him and Mrs. Claus, man.
Hold on. I'm about to text you this picture because I actually sent it to the wife. I was like, tonight's a big deal. Santa and Jesus are at ringside.
Oh, that's funny. I just saw him and his wife. The lady was like semi Mrs. Claus, you know.
The fact that you didn't see it makes it all the better. You know.
Yeah.
Some could make some sort of statement like, you know, Christmas isn't just about Santa, it's also about Jesus, you know. It's like you just don't see Jesus even though he's there.
So I do agree with you that there was a lot more interference here than there should have been on the outside. I think they're kind of taking too much liberty with the whole, you know, oh, battle royales and no rules thing. Of course people are going to interfere on the outside, you know what I mean? But I feel like they could have at least toned it down a tad, you know. Oh man, it's gonna be great watching Darth in the chat watching that main event. It was so good.
Like, holy cow, Jesus is there. And you know what's funny, Darth? Jesus actually had a sign tonight, saying that MJF is the real Judas, and of course, him being dressed as Jesus just makes it so freaking incredible.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Like here's the thing, right? I'm okay with the interferences in battle royals. I'm fine with it. I don't really have an issue necessarily. My problem was just it was used too much, the same spot in the same match. It happened like 3 times. Like it was cool for the boys to get involved and save Dalton. It was cool to, you know, that's how you got Jack Perry out of there. That's how you got Orange Cassidy out of there. That's fine, whatever it was. But it just they went to the well too many times in one match for my liking.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But, you know, once we got to the top 3, I thought this was incredible. Once these top 3, we had Ricky Starks, we had Matt Hardy, and Ethan Page in the final there. And, you know, Ethan Page is doing his thing where he's controlling Matt Hardy because of his contract and how he owns the contract of the private party, or the Hardy party, as I like to call him now, you know. I thought this was great. Good storytelling. You can see Matt's about to break and turn into Broken Matt again. He keeps on taking his hair thing out and he's like, he starts yelling like a madman. I really like the Broken Matt character, so I can't wait to see that again. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I do have something else to say. What's up, Sabak?
What up, Sabak? Darth says, I feel like we all knew who was going to win the Battle Royale last week. I mean, yeah, of course, but I did have some suspicions that Ethan Page was going to do some shady shit to win this one, but no, you know, of course, Ricky Starks is getting pushed big time right now.
So I have, and this is my second issue of the show, and I don't think I have a lot of issues past this.
Okay.
maybe I didn't understand and it was a little too convoluted to like what the Diamond Ring meant right now with MJF being champion. My understanding was the winner of the Battle Royale faces MJF for the ring, and if that person wins, they could face MJF for the title at a future point. So my question is, why does Ricky Starks win this match? Because obviously the storyline it makes sense on a storyline level because you have Ricky challenging MJF next week and it just raises the stakes and I get it. But why is Ricky Starks challenging for the ring next week and the world title? And if he wins both, like doesn't that make the whole point of the stipulation of winning the ring pointless? I don't know. Maybe you heard something I didn't, but I was just generally really confused about it.
So I see exactly what you're saying. You're saying the result of him winning the ring gives him a chance at the world title when he already has a chance at the world title?
Not even just that, but if Ricky Starks were to beat MJF next week, right?
Yeah.
So he does. Then the whole stipulation of the ring is pointless because he's already the world champion. How is he going to challenge MJF for the championship if he wins the world championship in the same match that he wins the ring, which gives him the right to challenge MJF for the belt?
So it's not going to be for both, is it? It's not going to be for the diamond and the title.
It is.
It is?
Why are they doing MJF versus Ricky Starks twice next week?
That's a good question, but for me, what I took from it is Ricky said, I want to take everything from you. So like, that's the reason he joined the diamond thing. So it's just like, it is what it is, you know?
Sure, and I understand that, and I'm totally cool with it, and I totally understand it. But then that's my follow-up question is, then why are we making it so, like, unless I'm, like, hallucinating and I made this up. It could be that I made this up and I wasn't listening correctly. But it's, like, I swore when they announced this Battle Royale, they said that because MJF's the champion, the rules are a little different this time. You win the Battle Royale, you go on to face MJF for the ring. If you win, you get a shot at the title whenever you want. Maybe I
the way that I heard it was you get a shot. I heard you get a shot at the ring anytime you want. If he won this one, he gets a shot at the ring anytime you want. Yeah. I don't think I heard anything about the world title belt because I think that's already like, you know, we already imply that he's got that one. But
right, but I mean,
it's a really good point.
Ethan Page is talking about winning it. Ethan Page is talking about how he's going to, you know, do it whenever he faces MJF whenever he wants, and like I don't know, the timing of it just seems really weird. And if someone in chat could correct me, maybe I'm wrong and I just missed something, or I overlooked something, or I misread something. But that's a very rare misstep where I'm kind of trying to figure out how, like, why they did it. And I understand it from the sense of Starks is saying, "Oh, I wanna take everything MJF has," you know, and I don't want to take away from what follows this Battle Royale, which is pure gold. But I just don't, and Sabak is saying it as well. This whole Diamond Battle Royal thing has been so convoluted. Exactly, it has been. And in previous years, it made more sense because MJF won it the first year in the Battle Royal, and every year the Battle Royal winner has challenged MJF for the ring. But now he's the champion, and I'm pretty sure they said this 2 weeks ago when they announced the Battle Royal, or a week ago, and they say that the winner of the ring, if they beat MJF for the ring, they get a title shot. And I don't know, maybe I misheard it.
I think the way we're supposed to look at it here is that Ricky had a world title shot no matter what, right? And he said, I want to take everything from you. So he joined into that match. If he were to have lost it, he still has his world title match, right? So I think he just kind of joined into this as a bonus of, I want to take everything from MJF. So if they did just say, okay, now the diamond is added to the world title match, I'm okay with that, but I do agree with you guys that it needed a little bit more explaining rather than us kind of having to, you know, kind of do the math on it here.
Well, so then again, and I'm completely okay with it, but my follow-up question is, then why book it that way? Why not just keep it what it's always been? Like, if Ricky wins this Battle Royale tonight, which he does, and then he goes on to face MJF next week, and he's like, not only am I going to take your world title, I'm going to take your diamond ring from you. That's more understandable to me. But don't, like, why book it to lead to a title shot if you already have a title shot?
Yeah, I think it's just because that Dynamite Diamond don't they always get the title shot? I think it was just an unavoidable thing.
No, they don't always.
No?
No, they don't always.
Okay.
But it's always been to go face MJF, and MJF's won it every time.
Gotcha.
So
Now, I feel like MJF has always gotten a title shot after it, but I'd have to go back and look. I have no
I
idea.
don't think so.
Well, let's get to the finish of this match here, because the finish to the match and everything was absolutely incredible. Ricky Starks reverses Matt Hardy, going after the what is that? The Twist of Fate. He knocks Matt Hardy out of the ring. Ethan Page kind of looks like he's going to get Ricky Starks out of the ring, but Ricky does like this clever, I don't know what to call it other than like a Hurricane Rana type thing where he uses his legs to flip Ethan Page out of the ring and he holds on to the ropes. And Ricky Starks winds up winning the Battle Royale here. Now, the second the bell rings, before Ricky can have any sort of celebration or even before his music can hit, MJF's music starts. So no celebration for Ricky. We immediately get MJF down to the ring. I thought this was amazing the way that they did that, where Ricky didn't even have time to, not even time to breathe or even, think about his song playing. Finally, MJF is getting booed by the crowd. I think, remember the last 2 weeks where we were like, man, he really went hard on wanting people to boo him. And he freaking did his job, man. He's getting booed pretty hard here tonight.
What's up to the Coog? He's saying good evening, guys. First of all, let me just give a huge shout out and a big thank you to the fans in Austin, Texas. They were the true MVPs of tonight's show with Jesus. Bro, it's amazing. Jeff, did you look at the picture I texted you?
I did not. Here, let me pop it over right now.
You look at it to see Jesus. Find Jesus, Jeff. Meduja saying,
oh shit, he is right there. He just blended right in because of Santa.
Yeah. Meduja says, maybe I'm overhyping, but I got an Austin versus Rock in this. Dude, you are not alone on that. So this promo that follows with MJF and Ricky Starks, just it felt like such a this is the next 10 years plus.
Dude.
Yes, that is exactly. I thought the exact same thing. Where I was just like, this is the I don't want to put Ricky over too much because he's still young and he doesn't have that he's established, but he hasn't reached the mountaintop. He hasn't peaked yet. He's not he's entering his prime right now. But this is Rock Austin level stuff. This is really good, and I the way that Ricky is able to bounce back from this MJF promo, because this MJF promo, phenomenal, right? He just you showed the picture on.
So right away, real quick, I just want to say the first thing out of MJF's mouth when he's like, "I'll get to you in a second," to Ricky, and he says that Danielson is terrified of him, and that's why he's not at Dynamite. Dude, I popped. I was like, holy shit, he's coming out swinging already. Dude, MJF is easily one of my favorites right now, and it's not even close.
So the fact, and this also goes into the Rock Austin thing, right? Where the fact that Ricky hung around with MJF on the mic and did just as good, if not better. I'm not taking away from either guy because both were phenomenal, and it really comes down to preference at that point of which one you like better. But just the fact that he was able to survive that. We've seen other guys go toe-to-toe on the mic with MJF, and they're just buried. They're just done. The crowd's done with it. MJF, verbally, just beat the crap out of them, and that's it. Not so here. MJF goes and calls him a dollar store Dwayne and calls him the Pebble, which I swear to God, the Pebble is a joke that I've made years ago.
Yeah,
so
I've heard you say it
because I'm not the biggest Rock fan. I don't know how to navigate this without sounding too controversial. I know that The Rock is great. I'm not saying he's not, but he's never really I don't know. I'm not a big fan. He's fine. He's great. He's great. But I would rather watch Austin or almost any of the top guys of that era than The Rock. Not that I don't find The Rock entertaining. He's good. But like I used to joke about, I had this one buddy who worked together, and he really loved The Rock, like really loved him. And I would just be like, yeah, that guy's not a rock. He's more like a pebble. So it's like I don't know. I got a kick out of that. That was really good. But anyways, um, yeah. So MJF just basically tears him a new one, completely just annihilates him. And there was a moment where I was like, damn, Ricky's just gonna kind of take this, isn't he? And then he doesn't. He shoves MJF and he just walks over, grabs the mic, and he just starts going off on MJF.
It was great. When MJF said, "I'm the four-time," all I could think of was Booker T, dude. And I was just like, I fucking love this guy. Not Booker T, by the way. Not even close to talking about Booker T. Talking about MJF. Right. What up, DC? DC said, "Did the Elite win?" No, they're having their match next week. Next week.
They're on a bye week this week.
Game number 4 will be next week.
Yeah, it's a bye day. It's a bye week.
Yeah, this is a bye week. That's a good way to put it. I like it. Welcome, DC. I like that yin yang symbol you got there, man.
Well,
so yeah, dude, this MJF promo was incredible on Ricky Starks, and then right away, Ricky Starks comes back with, like you said, if not a better promo than MJF's. When he called him Maxi Pad and the crowd started chanting Maxi Pad, they cut to MJF's face and he was like, "If this catches on, dude, it was so good." Ricky Starks here tonight, I think, elevated himself to the next level that he needed. I feel like this entire Battle Royale was meant to elevate him, and it actually required him to perform here in this promo, and he delivered like never before. I thought this was absolutely incredible by Ricky and MJF. You know, they both contributed to these promos here. But my God, it was amazing. After Ricky was finished up with his promo here, he hits MJF with a low blow. Ricky, lays on the ground, writhing in pain for a few moments. MJF, calmly takes off the scarf, lays everything gently on the mat, and goes to try to knock him out with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, but Ricky ducks under and hits a huge spear. Dude, it looks so cool the way Ricky hit that spear. He was like 6 feet up in the air and like angled. You got to see it to see what I'm talking about. You got to check it out on Twitter. It's amazing.
He kind of looked like he was doing a senton when he was spearing.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was one of the best spears I've seen in a while. He actually speared MJF's shoes off. I don't know if you saw that, but MJF's shoes came flying off. That's not easy. He had to have been wearing some shoes that were like a size too big or something, because, that was hilarious, man. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I think
the Coug. What's that?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the Coug says, fun fact, when Paul White made his debut in WWF, he called The Rock a pebble in his first promo when they stood toe-to-toe in the ring. Oh shit! Okay,
I don't remember that.
The Coug, man, that's why we love him, man. He's like the encyclopedia of wrestling history. I love it.
I think
MJF was speared out of his shoes. Yes, he was.
At the end of the day, with this segment, I think honestly, like, we can talk about it, but words just don't do it justice. It was funny because Juhas texted me and he was like, "Excuse me, yo, can you kind of give me like a play-by-play on Dynamite tonight, because it's his birthday tonight." And so he's like, "I'm going to be out for both Dynamite and the podcast. So can you like text me?" And I was running around like crazy today. I like just got home as soon as Dynamite was starting. So I was like, I don't know if I can do that tonight. But I'll let you know if anything crazy happens. And I was like, I texted him, "You need to watch this MJF Ricky Starks."
Yeah.
Because like I can't sit here and convey what was said by both guys and do it justice. This is two company headliners just coming into their primes, and they're going to face off next week.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that they're going to post it on their YouTube or their Twitter. Just make sure you go watch the promos between these two. Yeah, we would never be able to do it justice. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's rare that at the end of my notes I write 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like I put it in giant freaking red, 10 out of 10. I was like, holy shit, this was awesome. Yeah, we'll just move on because we could talk about this the entire night almost. So next up, we had a quick video package with Darby Allin on the TNT title. You know, Joe cut his promo back to Darby and basically was like, you know, survive if you can, man. So we'll see what happens with that one. Next up, Jon Moxley cut a promo on Hangman while he was backstage. He said he's done talking. You know, it's not called the Blackpool Talking Club. You know, it's the Blackpool Combat Club, and he's ready to fight. So, you know, I can't wait to see Hangman back in the ring. You know, after that KO, I was worried he was going to be out as long as Adam Cole was. But it looks like we're going to get him back a lot sooner than I was expecting.
So a few things I wanted to say about this. One is just funny. It's really funny. But firstly, in terms of the promo itself, I really enjoyed the way Mox puts Hangman over here by saying that, like, he's like, you know what you did? You came out to the ring and we fought, and there's not enough of that here. It's not like kind of to piggyback off what you recapped. It's not just about talking; it's about fighting. And at the end of the day, you came down to the ring, you didn't like me, and you squared up. And that's something that really matters to me, Moxley. So I really liked him kind of being like, oh, well, okay, well, I respect you for that. Like that's the way Mox would handle that, and I really like that. Secondly, Jeff, let me tell you about the wrestling media with Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. So, oh God, the wrestling media, Jeff. Let me ask you, because I know sometimes some things kind of fall to the wayside with you. I don't know, maybe you're always chasing the proverbial brass ring. You know, you miss things sometimes. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. Can you explain to me why Hangman Adam Page came out to face Jon Moxley last week? Like the storyline reason. What is the reason that Hangman Adam Page would come down to the ring last week and start fighting Moxley?
Well, obviously because Jon Moxley is the one who injured him, and he's coming back to get revenge on the guy who injured him, like thousands of other wrestling storylines before.
Are you aware of where I'm going with this?
I believe so. Are you talking about Dave Meltzer's argument with that dude on Twitter?
Not just Meltzer. We're like Lance Storm, who I respect deeply. Lance Storm, Wade Keller, Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer. All of these guys are like, we don't understand why Hangman Adam Page attacked Moxley. And I'm like,
what? No, Meltzer was the one defending it. He was like, this has happened thousands of times. He's like, it's a guy who was injured and he's coming back to take out the guy who injured him. Okay. Yeah, Meltzer was defending it like, you guys are idiots.
I meant Lance Storm, Alvarez, and Wade Keller. I'm like, you guys have lived in the wrestling business almost as long as I've been alive. What are you talking about? You know what you mean? Understand why they're doing this? He literally fucking put him on the shelf. And then when Hangman comes out to confront him, he makes fun of the fact that he did it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that it was even an argument. Like, I literally was reading the Twitter and I was like, is this person for real? I was like, how is this even an argument? I was like, this is what? I was like, they have no idea what they're even talking about.
I was like, Lance Storm, you're such a smart guy. How do you not?
Yeah.
How do you not? God damn it. Like, I don't know. I just, and then I saw another tweet that kind of really made me think, and maybe that's what it is. And it's like, the person was arguing, he said, AEW is of such high quality that the bar of expectation is so unreasonably high that, like, people are just, like, super critical, like, extremely critical. Whereas, like, you look at the other side of the coin, you look at WWE, and it's like, well, over the past 20 years, people have come to accept the fact that the company is just not as good as it used to be and probably will never be as good as it was. And they just accept the bad product for what it is and just be like, oh, fun. And I was like, yeah, that argument actually makes a lot of sense. If you set your expectations too high or you lay your bar too low, that's, I guess, what you're going to get. But yeah, I thought that was worth sharing. You know.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm glad you mentioned it because I'd kind of forgotten about that.
I'm glad someone did. I wish I could.
Yeah. All right, next up we had Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe for the TNT Championship. And holy shit, this match, man. I mean, I knew this was going to be a good match, but again, like, Darby and Joe, the chemistry there, the little guy versus the big guy, David versus Goliath, whatever you want to call it, this worked out incredible in this. And I think it was because of the moveset for both of these guys. I've never seen anybody, not get hit by Darby's missile tope, and Joe did his nope spot for it. I laughed so hard, and then I was like, after laughing, I was like visibly worried for Darby. Like, he hit straight concrete. You know what I mean? This was incredible.
Yeah. So 3 things. Number 1, you laughed at that spot.
Dude, yeah, I was just like, holy shit. I laugh at when Joe does the nope spot every time. It's hilarious for me.
No, it is funny. It is funny. But when Darby's just like, I'm going to jump over the padding and make sure I land my back, slam it on the concrete. And I'm sitting there just like, this is not sustainable, Darby. Darby, please. Darby, like, you don't need to do this. You could do other crazy spots and still sell it. Like, this man literally dove back first, spine first, onto hard concrete with nothing covering him. And it's not even like he took a bump where he fell backwards or somebody could slam him down where they could kind of ease it a little bit. This man dove in midair and landed on his spine, like smack down onto the concrete.
So he did the tope suicida through the middle rope, and then he did a front flip and basically landed on his back after flipping midair. Like, that was insane. I don't think there's many other wrestlers that could even do that. I don't think there's very many.
Like, the fact that he even did the flip, like, if it would probably be wiser to defend yourself with your arms and legs and let your arms and legs stop you. But, he's just like, I'm going to slam my spine down on this.
Kid's a maniac, dude. He's absolutely out of his mind.
He is. He really is. Maduja in the chat saying, AEW, they didn't explain this match. 0 out of 10. WWE, they said wrestling on television. 10 out of 10. Exactly, man. It's sad. It's really... If there's one thing, Jeff, that people need to know about me, I fucking hate double standards. Can't stand it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Double standards are literally like one of the worst things in society. And I fucking hate when wrestling companies have double standards.
Yeah.
Sabak saying this match banged. It did indeed.
Hell yeah, it
the
did.
Cube saying Darby is a human pinball in the ring. I've been with AEW since day one in 2019, and Darby always entertains. His style easily goes over in Japan and Mexico, which I love. Sabak also says, all I could think of is save some bumps for Muda. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Darby is a mainstay of AEW. I think back to week 3 of Dynamite, and he faces Jericho for the world title, and even before then, him versus Cody, at Fyter Fest or whatever it was. Just man, that's it. That Darby is a mainstay of this company, and obviously I appreciate the bumps, but man, he's still young, so I don't want to be oh, he can't do this anymore. But I want to see Darby wrestle for a long time, so I do get a little worried for him sometimes.
Yeah, everybody seems to be like that too. They're like, man, he's gonna kill himself, and it's just listen, the dude knows he's only got a couple years in the business doing what he does, and he's gonna make the most of it. So, he knows what he's doing. That's all I can say.
Meduja says, if I do what Darby does, I wouldn't be able to get up from my bed for 3 weeks. Yeah, dude, I fucking was on my feet for 9.5 hours today. I can't I don't want to get up for 3 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I would not be able to do what Darby does, at least not at my age now.
Yeah, you already took your bump off a roof.
So yeah. Used to do some crazy shit, but not no more. So this had one of the craziest spots I've seen in it in a while. Samoa Joe takes Darby and bounces him off the ring post, from the apron outside the ropes. Darby flips and spins I want to say a 450 degrees and just straight splash lands on the outside. And he looked like he was unconscious, man. They had Doc Samson out there checking on him. They were counting him down, but he gets in the ring at the count of 8, and Samoa Joe gets fed up with him, tries to hit him with a absolutely crazy choke slam, but Darby hits a coffin drop on the outside. He goes for another coffin drop on the inside, but gets caught into the rear naked choke by Samoa Joe and gets choked out, unconscious. His eyes roll into the back of his head. It was a really good camera shot they did there. Darby did a really cool like fluttering of his eyelids while he was going unconscious there. It was perfect. So Samoa Joe gets the win via submission.
Well,
Darby kind of, what's that?
Via choke. I mean, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't tap, but he choked.
No,
him
he
out.
didn't tap. Did not tap. He went out for sure. So Darby does get back to his feet, and he kind of says to Joe, like, I'm still standing, come get me, and he shoves him, and Samoa Joe hits him with a nasty headbutt. After the headbutt, Samoa Joe picks up the skateboard that Darby had in the corner of the ring, and he puts it down, and he hits a muscle buster straight onto the skateboard. And man, I don't know if you've ever been hit by a skateboard or tripped and fell on a skateboard. It does not feel good. And that, I don't know how you could, Darby's definitely going to be feeling that tomorrow is all I can say. That did not feel good. No way.
I'm not convinced that he feels anything, Jeff.
Right?
I don't know. And like I agree with the Kook. The Kook says that we're spot on. Do these crazy bump things while you're young. Life goes by so fast. No regrets. I get it, and I'm not like sitting here like I'm not that kind of guy who's just like, oh, no more risking your life in wrestling. Like, obviously take care of yourself, but like, do you, man? Like, whatever. It's your art. Do your art. But like, sometimes Darby, man. Sometimes, oh man. Like, I don't ever even like. I feel like Darby's already surpassed Jeff Hardy in like I want to die mentality.
Dude, the spot he did against Jeff Hardy where he dove off of that ladder down onto those fucking chairs, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That was insanity.
I'm convinced that Darby is indestructible. Like this guy, like I don't care how young you are or like whatever, or how small you are.
Yeah.
The bumps that Darby Allin takes, like I just can't imagine anybody of any age, of any physique, of any athletic premise or lack thereof, does not just get hurt.
What's that Bruce Willis movie, Unbreakable? And I know there's a second one, the Mr. Glass guy. I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's Unbreakable, right? Where Bruce Willis is like a superhero, like he can't be hurt, can't get sick, and all that.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the names of the movies though. I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a recent one, but I believe the older one was Unbreakable. But yeah, this was fantastic. Samoa Joe wraps up a choke again on Darby after the skateboard, and Wardlow comes out for the save. And Samoa Joe takes off running from the ring with his belts. And I got to say, he legitimately looked, I don't want to say scared, but he looked nervous that Wardlow was there. So they're playing this real good where Wardlow is still in a, very dominant position. Hoping Wardlow gets one of those belts, maybe both of them. We'll see. All right, next up, we had a backstage segment with Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian. Orange Cassidy was kind of upset with Kip Sabian for causing him to get kicked out of the Battle Royale earlier in the night, and said he wanted to face him on Rampage. Kip Sabian was basically like, oh, my face hurts, I can't wrestle on Rampage. So Cassidy was like, find an opponent, I don't care who it is. And Kip Sabian wandered off with a little question mark above his head. Who do you think Kip Sabian's got in mind?
I don't know, but I just want to make sure that I say this on the podcast. I fucking love Kip Sabian referring to Orange Cassidy as my sweet little Clementine.
He's taking some of the Regal stuff.
I was like, a Clementine is like a small orange.
Yeah. We got a bowl of them in the kitchen.
I was like, this is cinema. This is incredible. I loved it so much.
Oh, very good.
Dying. Who is it? Maybe Miro. I don't know. Nah, maybe. Miro, there's a connection there between Miro and Kip. I could see it being Miro. But I
could see that. I'm thinking Morrissey.
Well, so Tony Khan did a media call today for Ring of Honor Final Battle, and I didn't get to fully sit down and kind of digest it because I was working. But And he was just like, yeah, the Rampage lineup has been a little lackluster, but we're implementing new strategies to kind of get a lot more of the roster on the shows, and we want to make the shows a little bit better to help with the ratings. So we're gonna be doing that, and I think that kind of implies Miro. So I don't know. I think Miro makes sense here.
It definitely, yeah, I didn't even think of that, but it definitely does.
But I mean, I don't know, because I mean, do you want Orange Cassidy to beat Miro in his first match back? But I mean, Juhas is here.
What
Happy
up,
birthday.
Juhas? Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday.
You said it was his birthday, right?
It is his birthday, yeah.
Yeah, happy birthday, sir. Sorry, I don't go on Facebook. I don't know anybody's birthdays anymore.
His Facebook is banned apparently. He said on Instagram his Facebook is banned. But
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Everybody wish Juhas a happy
Shocker.
33rd birthday. He's the big 33.
33, you're catching up to me, bro.
Still ahead of me, so
Yeah.
still in my 20s and fucking living the dream, I guess.
Yep.
Anyways,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
all right. So yeah, I think it's gonna be Morrissey. But once you said Miro, that does make a little bit of sense. Even though Miro tried to rip Kip's arm off back in the day, but we'll see.
That is the other side of that argument where like I could very much be wrong about. I would not bet money on it being Miro, but you never know.
Yep. All right. Next up, we had Jericho doing a quick video package saying that he is the best Ring of Honor champion of all time. Basically, he is the ROH GOAT, the GOAT. And he says Claudio will join the JAS and he's going to enjoy it. And I think I said this in Discord, but remember that sit down that they had where Hager gave the purple hat to Claudio and he kind of threw it on the ground and then stormed out? If you watch closely, he actually picks the hat up before he storms out and he takes it with him.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good. I can't wait to see what goes on there. Next up, we had Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta versus Jake Hager and Daniel Garcia from the Jericho Appreciation Society. This was a great match. There was a guy in the audience with a Chris Jericho tattoo of Jericho, doing the break the walls down with his arms out thing. I can't imagine getting a tattoo of like an actual like full-bodied wrestler on my body. I got quite a few tattoos. I have like a lot of Pokemon, but like to get Jericho on my belly or something, that's just, I don't know. Did you see the tattoo?
I did. I could see myself being talked into that. There are other tattoos I would really want to get first before I get a wrestling related tattoo.
Yeah.
The Triforce, Pokemon. I'd love to get the Assassin's Creed logo. I just never get around to doing it. I always put off tattoos and then I just never get it done. It's not that
they're expensive, man.
Yeah, they're expensive, and like I'm always kind of met with the thing like, would you rather get a tattoo that you have to like work to like you not work, but like you have to make sure it's healing and it's all this work and
gotta keep it out of the sun.
You can't get it in the summertime because if you get it in the summertime, you can't go in the pool and you can't go on vacation or something like that. And then I don't know, and like like showering, like I don't know, it's got to be a pain in the fucking ass. I'm sure it is. So I'm just like I'm always putting it off, and I'm like I'd rather buy a game or order a wrestling tee. Like I'd rather show off like my love of things or my feelings towards things by like oh, let me get a T-shirt for my favorite video game. Let me get a hoodie for my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I'm sure there's a story behind that guy's tattoo. I'd love to hear it, whatever it is. But there's definitely a story behind it. You don't just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go get Chris Jericho tattooed on my belly.
I'm just saying, like you could totally talk me into like if it was free and it was like hassle free, you could probably talk me to like some sort of wrestling tattoo. I don't think it's out of the realm of like possibility for me. Like I could like. I don't know, maybe like a little like this, but like obviously much smaller. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but we'll get to the match here. This was a great match. Excellent tag team match between the two teams. I was very surprised to not see any dissension between the Blackpool Combat Club. I felt like we were kind of getting at, a little bit of a breakup or something like that going on, after the whole William Regal stuff. But, it looks like they may have turned away from that. They might be doing a little bit of a U-turn and keeping them together. They worked really, really well together. There was absolutely no missteps between Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. There was more missteps between Garcia and Jake Hager, to be honest. That's actually how the match ended. Jake Hager got flung into Garcia. They did a little bit of a colliding of heads. And let's see here. What did I write down? Yeah, after the colliding of head, Claudio gets the uppercut and he gets the 1-2-3 on Hager. So looks like the Blackpool Combat Club might be staying together. We might be getting a little bit of dissension going on in the JAS. But you know, thinking about it, if they lose that, or if Claudio loses that match and he has to join them, it kind of makes sense that they weren't teasing any of them breaking up right now. You know what I mean? So I really don't know what's going to happen now. They've got me definitely on the fence of 50-50, not knowing what's going to happen in that match.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see on Saturday. Shaping up to be a really good pay-per-view on Saturday.
Oh, dude, we'll get to that in a little bit, because there's one thing that they announced here that instantly made me want to buy this pay-per-view, and I don't even need to see any of the other matches on it. You know what I mean? So we'll get to that later. So the moment that this match is over, Tony Schiavone magically appears in the ring. Think Chris Jericho, used his wizard skills and teleported him into the ring. And he says, you guys have been wondering why William Regal did what he did. He's like, listen, I did a secret interview with him a couple of days ago.
Weeks ago.
Here's my interview. This might explain some stuff for you guys. So we get an interview with Regal where, he says people are only going to see this if some bad things have happened to me. He says the Blackpool Combat Club doesn't need him anymore, and he wanted to show the boys that. And he said the final lesson that he wanted to teach them was to stay one step ahead and keep eyes in the back of your head. And he said he is Blackpool Combat Club for life. So I feel like that was a message to a lot of us as fans as well, as like, I did enjoy my time here. But, what has come out now is that he has asked Tony Khan for his release, or not for his release. He asked to not have his contract renewed. So it does sound like his contract is over in January, like some of the people were speculating. And the reason being is that his son is signed to WWE in the Performance Center, and he's going to start his training soon. So he wants to be over there and oversee the training that his son is going to be involved in. So, if all of this is true and Tony has granted him this, he said, of course, I would never keep a father from his son. Kudos to Tony on this one, and kudos to Regal. I was at the point of suspecting Regal of being a mole, where I thought WWE released him just knowing that Tony would go over and pick him up and he was going to get a bunch of info from him and stuff like that. But, I think where we're at now is sometimes in the wrestling world, we need to kind of just take a step back and let things play out before we just start throwing accusations around and all that stuff. This definitely made me think of that.
Yeah. The Kook said it as well. The farewell interview with Regal and Tony Schiavone was pure class. Great way to say goodbye to AEW fans. No hate, no resentment. This is why I love Tony Khan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love this video. Emotional. It was an emotional video. Obviously, it's not just about Regal leaving. Yes, Regal's saying goodbye to the AEW fans. He's going back to a place that he's going to be happy, and that's great. I'm very happy for him. But yeah, from a storyline perspective, I thought that this was just such a clever and such a beautiful way to write Regal off, like TV, where it's just it's kind of like it was kind of like a video will almost.
That's a good way to put it. Wow.
Where he was just like, hey, look, if you're watching this, I'm not here anymore. You're not going to see me again. I just want to let you guys know that I fucking love you. And you've already learned everything you can from me, except for one lesson. And that lesson I taught you guys at Full Gear. And it's to always stay one step ahead, keep eyes in the back of your head. And with that, goodbye. Just again, super well. I got emotional. I was getting like a little teared up. Like, I know, Jeff, you're usually the one who gets teared up a lot, but I was just in there like, damn, that's pretty fucking That's pretty fucking deep when you think about it. Like, yes, they're just like in a real sense, this is just him being done with TV. This is him, his character, riding off into the sunset. He's going back to WWE, in which he cannot appear on camera for the entire 2023 year, which Tony Khan revealed today. He can work backstage there. He just can't be on TV. But yeah, really beautiful, really emotional stuff. That being said, I'm gonna say this, and it's not about it's not about Regal. It's not about anything like that. And Tony mentioned it briefly during the Ring of Honor media call today. But in hindsight, it was so fucking scummy for fucking Big Nose Circus Pinocchio Paul to be posting the William Regal War Game stuff a week before, damn well knowing what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just like
they have no shame. That's all I can say.
I
It doesn't
just
shock me
feel-
anymore.
I just feel gross. You're getting Regal back, and that's fine. Like again, like I've always said it. Like it's not about going back. It's about it's the situation that surrounds it. Regal's son is there. Regal enjoyed working in NXT, and he was let go by Vince, and I get it. I get him wanting to go back there, and I respect it, and I have no ill wishes towards it. But like I just fucking hate the way Paul Levesque carries himself. Like it's just fucking gross. Like I just don't like it. I don't. I wanted so badly for him to be different.
You know who it reminds me of?
Not. He's just not.
You know who it reminds me of?
Vince.
Vince.
Yeah.
Makes me think he's not gone, just like some people have been saying. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Saying that, but like the more I sit on it, like I do think Vince is gone. I just think that this is Paul Levesque. I mean, why would you think he'd be any different? He literally learned under Vince for all those years.
True.
And he
True.
sat by and watched Vince do the fucked up shit that he did. Like if you think Paul Levesque and Stephanie McMahon didn't know about all the slimy shit Vince McMahon was doing, they were the ones that fucking brought it to light here so they could take over. Like, come on, guys, like wake up. Like they know everything that Vince has done, and they know things that they did not bring to the light that Vince has done that we don't know about and probably will never know about. Although Vice has a documentary on Vince, I think next week, that I really have to try to check out. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to kind of get that in because I thought that was just that felt so classless. There's no class there. Like just like let the guy fucking ride off to the sunset. You're gonna get him back at the end of this month, and just be happy you have him. Like. Yeah.
But so after Regal says goodbye, Moxley cuts a quick promo and basically says, I'm going to be at Rampage on Friday. Somebody meet me there and, let's have a match. He didn't specifically say who, right? This is kind of like an open challenge for Moxley.
Yes, but we do find out later.
The Coug says he left them in 2011, them being WWE, I believe. I should have left in 2001 when WCW went under. It's not the talent I hate. It's the McMahon family and his doofus son-in-law that I loathe.
Yeah, and see, it's always kind of the disappointment in Triple Paul is always just, it really hits hard for me because I was just such a Triple H fan. Like,
dude, yeah.
I would take the criticisms, like when he fucking buried Booker T at WrestleMania 19, and everyone was like, that was egregious. Like, I would try to justify it. I really couldn't. I would just be like, well, he's the top guy in the company right now. And it just made sense to keep the belt on him. But, like, Booker should have won there. But, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I was such a big fan of his from DX to like everything he always did kind of as a performer. I was really into whether it was as a babyface or a heel, whatever it was. And just to see like a guy that I really had a lot of hope for, just not anywhere near that expectation. Like,
I forget the term people use, but like, have you ever noticed that a lot of people that like when you were younger that you looked up to, like as you grew up, you're like, wow, they are total douchebags now. Like it's really happened to me a lot. A lot of the people that I thought were really cool growing up are just total douchebags sometimes now.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess that's just what it is. Like I think the ironic thing for me was like not like falling out of love with the Fed and just coming to fucking hate them. It's just a matter of like, all right, well this guy that like as a kid I fucking loved. Like I'm seeing them now as an adult with a clearer view of the landscape. It's like, oh
Hmm.
wow, like, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, yeah,
Like as
you
a
know.
kid, like I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, because in 2001 I was 8 years old. As a kid, it's like, oh wow, the good guys won the Monday Night Wars. Maybe not. Maybe
Maybe
I'm
not.
a child. You know what I mean? I didn't know any better. I had no idea. I remember watching like the fucking documentaries they cranked out in 2005. At that point, I was 12, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. Like they
Yeah.
put out that Rise and Fall of ECW documentary, which it's not terrible, but like I'm such a fucking idiot to not realize that, like, man, Vince really just put everybody out of business, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. But anyway,
What? I'm trying to fit. There's one of those avatars on the bottom of the screen,
which
and
one?
his name is like little weird squares. That
Oh, I
shouldn't
see
even
that.
be possible. That's crazy.
That's interesting.
I
Anyways,
wonder if that's a dev.
Madu just saying Booker losing that match looked so bad. It does. It really
It
does
did,
in
yeah, it did.
hindsight. The Kook says, I will never get over how they buried WCW talent, but the Rey Mysterio 1 hour WWF title reign 2011 was the backbreaker, just shameful. Meduja also says, The Undertaker used to be my favorite. Now he's just like Jim Cornette. Yeah, it's really sad to see the again, like living in this era where it's just like Undertaker sucks now, Triple H sucks now, Shawn Michaels is fucking bald and sucks now. Like it sucks, man. Like all my favorites as a kid suck now. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I mean even the Rock sucks. You know, Steve Austin's still cool. Steve's the one guy. Like he went back to
Yeah, he's
WrestleMania.
still
But, like
good.
Steve's cool. Like that was the one guy out of all. Mick Foley's really cool too. I really like Mick Foley. Like those were like the two guys that were like cool still. You know what I mean? Everyone else sucks.
All right. So next up, we had the House of Black, Malachi Black cutting a promo. Um, this was really cool. So he was basically like, Julia, what is the crime? She said, treason. He said, buddy, right?
Yeah, Mr.
Said,
Matthews.
buddy, what is the verdict?
Matthews, I think.
He said, war. He said, Brody, what is the sentence? And he said, extermination. I thought this was so cool. I can't wait to see them just continue to destroy everybody.
Yeah. So no, he says Miss Hart, Mr. Murphy,
There you go.
um,
Mr. King.
Mr. King or Mr.
Yeah.
Matthews, right? Because it's Buddy Matthews. And Mr. King. Yeah, this was excellent. I really love this segment with the House of Black. So much so that like I don't like hot potatoing with titles, but like part of me wants the Elite. The Elite's gonna win this series, right? They're gonna probably go to Game 6 or Game 7, and they're gonna walk out with the championship, right? And part of me just really wants like the House of Black to be like, okay, next week, and then House of Black win the titles. Like, I really want the House of Black to win the titles, like really badly.
Yeah, me too. That's a scary trio right there, man. They could hold those titles for a long time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also really like how the House of Black set up for this feud with the Elite by attacking Brandon Cutler last week after
Yeah,
Rampage.
yeah. After Rampage was over, I didn't see that. I was gonna post it as a broken table of the week. I spaced on that. They destroyed Cutler.
I had seen it. I think Shining Polaris was there ringside, and she posted a video of it. And then I think even AEW official channels posted a video of it. But then it was on BTE, and it was so well done on BTE. And this is why I love BTE so much more than like other wrestling vlogs. Like Sammy's vlogs, fucking garbage nowadays, especially.
I think he stopped it.
Did he stop? Good. That's good. That's smart. It wasn't very good. All the reasons people liked it aren't there anymore. So, yeah. But anyways, it was so well done in BT where like Brandon's like, I'm getting footage for BT. This is great, guys. This is amazing. And then all of a sudden he turns around and Black is just standing there. And like he like zooms into Malachi's eye. And actually, no, Malachi just attacks him. The camera drops. And then the camera picks back. It's like a fucking horror movie. Camera
Yeah.
picks up, and Julia turns it around, and she's like, "The house always wins." And then turns the camera just in time to see them fucking slam Cutler through a table. And then like they like get down and they're like, we like you, Brandon. We like you a lot. You're not the problem. It's your friends that are the problem. They're a cancer to this company. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is so good, so good.
Absolutely. Super excited to see where the House of Black go from here. Next up, we had Jamie Hayter with her sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone. She basically says, it's about time she gets her sit-down interview, and she reveals that the winner of Hikaru Shida versus her challenger for the Regina D. Wade championship will face her for the AEW championship, the women's title. That's gonna be freaking awesome, huh?
Yeah, give me Sheeta versus Jamie. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And who is Shida facing for the Regina D. Wade?
She's defending the title against the Bunny on the page.
The Bunny, that's who it is. Okay, I was having my brain was just not remembering who that was, but that is going to be fantastic. The Bunny is one of my favorites for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, we had Jade and the Baddies versus Kiera Hogan, Sky Blue, and Madison Rayne in a really, really entertaining women's 3-on-3 match. The story of this match was Jade Cargill was the basically the coach. She was calling all the plays, and she didn't get into the ring till towards the end there. And I did see Rome, you had something to say about this one here.
So I want you to kind of give your thoughts on this match because I only have one or two observations that I made. This is a great match.
Okay.
But my observations also bleed into the next segment, and I just
Okay.
want to kind of roll through it. So, like, give your thoughts on this match, and then the Saraya segment, and then I'll just go ahead.
Gotcha. So, like I said, Jade was being the call player for this one. Excalibur made sure. I'm sorry, Tony.
You also said call player.
Taz made sure to say to Excalibur, that's a football reference. I thought that was hilarious because I'm pretty sure Excalibur doesn't watch sports at all, but he knows everything about wrestling you could ever want to know. So this was great. Kiera Hogan and the Baddies kind of went at it this whole match. Sky Blue again impressed the hell out of me. She pulled a lot of minutes here in this match. She was great. Jade hits a massive leg hook choke slam to Kiera Hogan. I thought she was going to slam her through the mat into the earth with that thing. She had to have been 8 feet up in the air. If Jade is over 6 foot, she was at least 7-8 feet up in the air. And that was a nasty choke slam to Kiera Hogan. She hits a huge Jaded on Madison Rayne to get the 1-2-3. And I wrote, great match. Jade is getting better. Madison Rayne is really, really putting her stamp on this women's division, man. This was absolutely fantastic. And I know Rome wants me to get to this next part here, which was Saraya and Britt with Tony Schiavone in the backstage. Britt basically tells Saraya, find yourself a partner. What do you take from that?
So last segment, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
I am doing fantastic.
Last segment. During the trios match, Taz said a few things that I thought were very noteworthy to me. And I think you might find them noteworthy as well.
Lay them on me.
At the beginning of the match, Taz felt the need to say the word boss 5 times. Okay? Then, later in the match, one of the announcers said that Jade was making a statement. Now, when I say these words in about pertaining to women's wrestling, boss, statement, Jeff, who do you think of?
I think of the Boss, whose finishing move was called the Bank Statement, Mercedes Vernado, or formerly known as Sasha Banks.
Correct. Jeff, did you happen to read on the internet that Mercedes Vernado filed a trademark for her own name this past week to be used in wrestling?
I did see that.
Okay, you did see that. So then we get to this next segment with Saraya and Britt, which great segment. But Saraya is told by Britt Baker, January 11th, the Kia Forum, back in LA. Big show. It's going to be a big show, January 11th.
In LA.
In LA. In LA. Right. To find a tag partner to take on Britt and Jamie. Jeff, look, man, I really, like, in 2022, this is the year where I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. But, like, come on, man. Like, Sasha's got to be coming to AEW, right? They're teasing it so much from last week to now with Jade, and now this week, and you got Jade hanging out with Trinity, and then you got, like, Boss and Statement, and meanwhile you have Mercedes filling out all these trademarks with her own name, and, like, which she doesn't need to do if she's going back to WWE. And then you got, like, when Sasha first, like, started doing, like, signings and stuff, she said that she's not available to wrestle until 2023. Like, she said that to promoters who reached out to her. Those promoters were told Sasha's not taking any bookings until 2023. But January 11th, 2023, fucking Saraya, who has history with Sasha Banks, who Sasha was the one that injured her, and when Saraya was cleared, she was the first person she called. I'm Charlie Day right now, and I'm just piecing the lines of string together on my wall. I should, like, turn the camera and, like, wish I had something ready to go for this bit, but it's like there's so many things that it's just like you would think that, like, if Sasha, it's like it's kind of almost reaching, like, CM Punk right before First Dance levels, where it's like you might need to stop if Sasha is not the plan and she's not coming to AEW. Like, you might really need to, like, slow down and, like, stop. But even, like, even if you're accidentally teasing this, like, you need to stop and be very careful what you're doing, because it's very clear.
Dude, as soon as she said find a partner, I literally yelled, "Holy shit!" And people in the house were like, "What?"
And the other problem is, right, so, like, if it's not Sasha, right? If it's not Sasha on January 11th, it's probably Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
And, like, I like Thunder Rosa. I don't care what anyone says. But, man, people are going to be really upset if this mystery partner is Thunder Rosa. Like, I remember sitting there, like, I'm still connecting these dots, and I'm just like, it feels like Sasha or Mercedes. I don't know. You can go whichever way you want. Until she debuts as Mercedes, we're going to say Sasha. Like, you can say it's Sasha. But if it's not Sasha, then it's going to be Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
People are going to be really upset about that. I'm cool with it.
And seeing Naomi with Jade at that Atlanta Hawks game, it wasn't just a coincidence that they were there together. They were sitting together, you know, courtside, hanging out together, taking pictures and videos. Like, that was meant to happen. They didn't just be like, "Oh, hey, what up, girl? You got tickets too?" No, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't wait for this. And, you know, like you said, tying strings together, they wouldn't have put this little Brit interview with Saraya immediately after the Jade thing, after the Boss stuff. Like, they treat us like smart fans. And, you know, I feel like the dude from, what's that movie? Or not movie. What's that show? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when he's got the strings and he's doing the conspiracy theory. Everything's tied together. Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's Charlie Day. That's
been me for weeks, dude.
Yeah. it just feels so obvious at this point where it's like if they aren't intentionally teasing this, then this is like so coincidental
Yeah.
on like on the craziest level. And I'm surprised we didn't see Bow Wow tonight.
Right?
That makes me think that like so okay, hold on. I'm pulling up the calendar real quick. I want to lay this out for us. So January 11th is 5 Wednesdays from now. So we have 4 episodes of Dynamite before this January 11th Dynamite. I would say that is the perfect amount of time to have on Winter is Coming. You know, you have Bow Wow come out. The next week you have Jade respond, 28th, 21st. The 28th, Bow Wow comes out and says, you know, he comes back and says, like, you know, I've got someone to take care of you, Jade, and you're going to meet her next week. And then January 4th, you do that first show in Washington State, big show, especially a big show because that's the same day as Wrestle Kingdom, I believe. So you already know AEW is trying to pull off a big show while sending big names to that show. I think if it's not the same day, it's like very similar like time frame where a lot of talent might not make it for Dynamite, but like Kenny won't be on that Dynamite. Um, FTR won't be on that Dynamite. You're gonna need something big for that Dynamite, and I think and then that leads into the 11th, which is that week where they're going to be back in the Kia Forum, and you have her team with Saraya.
Oh man, I'm excited. I
I
can't
think
wait.
5 weeks is the perfect amount of time to build this match too. Like now, I'm like micro analyzing because it's just it feels so obvious to me.
Yeah, if she shows up, the levels of hate on Twitter are going to be insane. We're going to watch everybody go from Sasha was amazing to Mercedes is garbage. We never needed her
That's
anyway.
already happened, man.
I know
And
it's already
so
happening. I
fucking
know.
wild to me. People like Fed Twitter, like when I tell you that Fed Twitter has been like Triple H shouldn't re-sign her and like she was always trouble. Like if you like oh boy. Oof. Mm.
Talk
Mm.
about bad takes.
By the way, did you see that Raw rating on the last hour on Monday?
It's their worst of all time.
It was they're getting close to that million slot in that third hour. Like
Yeah.
it's getting bad.
I mean, all wrestling is down right now, like pretty
It
bad,
really
but that was their worst of all time.
Well, the thing is, I saw an interesting tweet that compared it to last year, and yes, it went down year over year, but like football was down too. So it's just like people weren't watching football. Like usually, you can kind of blame it on football. Like if it's a good matchup, you know, usually WWE will get killed on Monday nights. But like
Yeah.
that was not the case. Like I think the NFL was down 3 million, and it's just like man,
Yeah.
like people really don't want to watch your TV show.
Mia just says, what if it is Statlander? I can't remember when she was injured, but that's going to be 13 months, I believe. It's the same injury she had last time, and we're just going to assume she's going to take the same amount of time.
Statlander's injury, if I recall correctly, is a 9 to 12 month injury.
Yeah, last time it was the
I'm-
same one, and she took 13 months, so people are kind of just like, she's probably going to be about the same time.
I think she got hurt around May.
Okay.
So yeah, I
eh.
can't see it being Statlander.
Yeah, January would be pushing it. It would definitely be pushing it.
Yeah, but I don't see that. Medujo also says the Vincels will say that Sasha is the worst women's wrestler and they don't need her. Yeah, it's sad. It's real sad over there. Like it's wild.
I just, it's funny, like some of those fans on Twitter, I'm like, do you even watch or do you just like love to be a troll on Twitter? Like I can't imagine actually watching and saying some of the things that I see. It's kind of just baffles my brain.
Yeah. Meduja saying, but according to the Fed fans, when the ratings are down in WWE, the ratings don't matter. Exactly. The ratings
Exactly, yeah.
Marvel standards. When the ratings go down on Mondays and Fridays, it doesn't matter. But when you look at those Dynamite ratings dip
Yep.
below 1 million, ooh boy.
NXT was abysmal and they were in a prime time slot not competing with almost anything.
Apparently, I didn't really get a good look at the quarter hours, but I saw some tweets saying that apparently Dominic Mysterio's quarter, like when Dominic came out and wrestled, 200,000 people turned off the TV.
Oh, That's
It's
sad
so
though.
bad. He's not good though. I don't feel bad for the guy. He's really terrible. He did a really cool segment. Well, not segment, but they did a really cool thing on Thanksgiving with him and Rhea Ripley showing up to Ray's house. That was cool. I like that. But other than that, Dominic has been complete ass. Like he's been fucking atrocious.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything.
I don't know why they threw him on the main roster like that. He's obviously still too young. He should be in NXT, still learning the craft.
It's because he's Rey Mysterio's son. He's
Well,
literally
I
where he's
get
at.
that, but I mean, they had Bill Goldberg's son. You don't see his ass fucking out there trying to be on Raw main event shit.
The difference is that Ray, before Ray resigned, Ray could have went and worked for the alternative company. Goldberg was never going to wrestle in AEW. That just wasn't happening.
Oh God.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But like
I
they
don't even
signed
want to
Dominic,
imagine
and
that.
they pushed Dominic to a point where Ray signs with WWE. Like there was a point, people don't remember this. There was a point where Ray was contemplating his last contract, whether it was going to be with AEW or WWE, and that was a big story point. But then WWE was like, "We're going to sign Dominic. We'll get him pushed. We'll get him trained. We'll get him on the main roster." And Ray signed with them because of Dominic, and there you go.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to our main event of the night here. The AEW World Tag Team Championship between FTR and the Acclaimed. Holy shit. This might be one of the best matches I have seen all year. I'm going to say it right now. The Usos getting Tag Team of the Year over either of these two fucking teams or the Bucks blows my fucking mind and makes me think that the WWE finally realized that people pay attention to these things. And I think they may have gotten involved with PWI and, you know, may have influenced the decisions here because I don't see how. I just don't see how. I don't.
Well, let me put it to you this way. And it's the same reason why Roman Reigns is number one on the PWI top wrestlers. WWE for the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years has been a company that strictly exists just to get Roman Reigns over. That has
Right?
been the objective of WWE since the moment he won that Royal Rumble in Philly. When my people booed this man. Like, and this is why I'm from here and I fucking love this place because I did not go to the Royal Rumble. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I see Roman, like that Royal Rumble for me is such a big turning point because if you remember, Daniel Bryan gets thrown out, Dolph gets thrown out, a bunch of people are getting thrown out by Big Show and Kane, and Rowan wins, and just like The Rock comes out, and The Rock lifts his hand up, and man, the boos.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this because Miro Rusev at the time was the last man to get eliminated by Roman, and the fans were chanting for Rusev. Now, mind you, at the time, Rusev Day wasn't a thing. Rusev was the one-dimensional heel Russian bad guy. I mean, he's from Bulgaria, but you get my point. Like, we are the birthplace of Rocky Balboa, where we cheered Rocky beating Drago, right? We cheered for the equivalent of Ivan Drago, the WWE equivalent of Ivan Drago, over Roman Reigns. Like, but my point is, since that moment, when he wins that Rumble, and they hold his hand up, and even The Rock's face is like, fuck, this is terrible. Vince and then subsequently Triple H, that's the whole point of the company. Like, the Roman Reigns bloodline storyline better be fucking good because it's the only focus of the company. Yes, they fill the rest of their TV time. Yes, they do other things. But in terms of the focus of the company, like like Tony Khan's biggest issue sometimes is that he focuses too many things, and then people get mad because you don't see people on TV that often. But it's because Tony's like, I need to focus on this, and then I got to focus on Ring of Honor, and I got to focus on my titles, and I got to focus on my champion, like my championship contenders, and I got to focus on the storylines, and like all these things that Tony's trying to fit into TV. Whereas like in WWE, they're just like, all right, well, we got Roman, we got Paul Heyman, we got Sammy, we got the Usos, and we got the third Uso, whose name is I think Solo. What's his name?
Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, that guy. The Uso with blonde hair. Like that's what he is. He's the Uso with blonde hair. And it's just
I think he's better than the Usos are.
He is. But I saw some of his NXT stuff.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. Look, I'm not trying to be that guy, but like the whole point of this company has been to push Roman Reigns and his family. And so when PWI comes out and they say, well, Roman Reigns is the best wrestler and the Usos are the best tag team, like it's kind of like, well, you're sure, but that's because you're booking an entire company around them. We went into tonight, this main event, right, with the Acclaimed and FTR, two excellent tag teams that either team has a very strong argument for why they should win this match. Go back and tell me the last time Roman Reigns wrestled a match or the Usos wrestled a match where you're like, man, it really is booked in a believable way that Roman or the Usos are going to lose this high-profile match. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And like when people are like, oh my God, Roman Reigns has been a champion for 5 years or whatever the fuck it is. Like, sure, but Chris Jericho has defended his Ring of Honor World Championship more times he won the title in August.
Couple of months, yeah.
August, Grand Slam, August, September. He's defended his Ring of Honor title more times since September than Roman Reigns defended his World Championships in his reign.
That's crazy.
And years. Like,
yeah. You have 800 days, 800 plus days for Roman, and Chris Jericho has already defended his title more times. That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's
all
just
right.
Yeah.
Let's get to this match here, because this match was absolutely incredible. I had high hopes for this match, but this blew my expectations out of the water. And it just kept getting better and better and better as the minutes went on. This match was just unreal, dude. The FTR, I don't understand how. I'm not going to get back on that. The FTR is incredible. The Acclaimed are so fucking over. It's not even funny. I mean, this was great. This was one of my favorite matches of the night. This may have been one of the best tag team matches on regular television that I have ever witnessed. This was just, every bit about it was just absolutely perfect. So good.
Yeah, I mean, the Acclaimed are the top merch sellers in AEW right now, and that's been confirmed. It's impressive. And
I'm so glad we didn't get any interference in this. They teased it with Jeff Jarrett and, Sanjay Dutt backstage watching the match. We all had our thoughts that maybe the Gun Club would get involved. Maybe Swerve and Our Glory would somehow get involved. But no, they kept all of that out of the match. And they ended it in one of my favorite classic wrestling finishes. Cash kind of took it upon himself. He looked like it was a little bit of a dire situation. So Cash Wheeler took it upon himself. He hit 3 huge lariats onto Max Caster, picked him up for a power bomb, slammed him down to the mat, and he did the front sunset flip rollover, but Max Caster reversed it, flipped him over into the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the roll-up finish, and gets the 1, 2, 3. This finish, I like, no lie, I literally stood up and I started clapping in my living room. Yeah. I was just like, this finish was so good. No interference from anybody. FTR looked super, super strong in the finish here with Cash basically annihilating Max, but making that one little mistake and getting caught in the roll-up. You know, when you're wrestling the best in the business, that's all it takes is one little mistake and you're gonna lose. So this was amazing, and I see you smiling. Take over from here. Go ahead.
Jeff, are you gonna be mad if I start referring to what FTR really stands for as "find the remote"?
Maybe.
That was such a line, man. And then they're like, "You're gonna lose this match like Herschel Walker," and I'm just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, so good." Um, yeah, this match was incredible. I thought this was an excellent match. Just yeah, really well done. Really smart storytelling being done here about two tag teams that are just incredible. They're the two top tag teams of the year, and you just got you got FTR doing friggin' catapults onto the bottom of the apron under the ring, which was just wild. Just so much stuff going on, and just excellent match, excellent wrestling match. These two teams are just on fire right now. Again, you have FTR, who definitely has the pedigree of their matches this year to kind of back them up, and then you got the Acclaimed, who homegrown talent made their way to the top, and they're currently the merch leaders. You know what I mean? Like that's just two really huge tag teams, and it was a special night for both teams. And part of me does kind of think that, I mean, the Acclaimed winning is the right call,
Yeah.
absolutely. But part of me was like, man, like it would have been cool to see FTR hold all four belts. Like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it though. I think that you're going to see FTR start to drop these belts at some point. Um, but that was really awesome.
Too many to carry, to be honest. They already struggle carrying all the ones they have.
I like the image of when they're doing the ring announcings, the camera cuts to the ring like behind FTR, and it's just a pile of belts.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that was really awesome. But yeah, this was just an incredible match, and we get a post match that I was surprised about, because I was sitting here thinking like, because someone asked Tony Khan at the media thing today, like, oh, why is FTR not on the card? And like, first of all, like, wrestling media, I'm getting sick of wrestling media, Jeff.
Join the club,
Obviously,
bro. Join the club.
obviously, at a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, they're going to book FTR on the card. Like they're like these guys are going to defend their titles on the card. It is a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and they're the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. There's no TV time to build a lot of stories of its own, so clearly they're going to have all the titles on the line. And you're going to ask Tony Khan with two television shows before Final Battle, because we had Dynamite tonight, Rampage on Friday. You're going to be like, so Tony, why didn't you put FTR on the card? And FTR was just like, watch the show tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should really probably watch the show tonight and see what happens.
Yeah, it was like, it was clear we didn't really, well, I guess you could say we have a main event because Jericho and Claudio, but I don't want that to be the main event. I want the tag team match to be the main event.
It possibly could. Anyways, so after the match, the Ass Boys show up, and I think that they're going to book Ass Boys versus FTR. That seems like that's going to be the play. That's the way that they've been teasing it. But so then the Gun Club is like, well, we got you guys some Christmas presents. They open it up, and it's written in blood. It says the Briscoes, and I'm
Dude,
like,
that
oh,
was
fuck.
awesome. It literally looked like it was written in blood.
Yeah, it says it's like Briscoes versus FTR, December 10th, final battle or something like that. And then he's like, oh, look, we have something else. And they open up, it's dog collars. It's going to be a double dog collar match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this was not what I was expecting at all.
This will be a question for you and the Coug, because I'm not sure if you'll know. Has there ever been a double dog collar match like this before?
I'm sure there has been. I don't know off the top of my head, but that sounds like a very...
I mean, not in a major promotion anyway. I can't remember one.
No, not a major promotion, but that definitely sounds like something you would have seen in like Deep South or Championship Wrestling from Florida in the 70s. Like there has to have been at some point.
I'm wondering if they go with two guys are tied to each other, so there's two completely separate dog collars.
Oh yeah.
Or if we go with like a wild 4-way dog collar thing.
No, I think that's too much work. I think they're going to do two different dog collars.
Yeah, because then they wouldn't be able to separate from each other and go off and do their own thing. Yeah.
The Coug's asking, do these wrestling media have certified credentials? These idiots need to be academically and professionally vetted. We need standards and ethics in pro wrestling media. The problem is it's more so of like a who do you know type thing with pro wrestling media. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of what it comes down to. You got guys like Sean Ross Sapp, who hears things from people. Like the dirt sheet writers are what they are because the talent go to them.
I just want to point out that's how I feel about all the media, all of them.
Yeah, Jeff, we get it, Jeff. We get it. We get it. I don't want to discuss your life choices. Obviously, you should always take media with a grain of salt. It's called being a thinking, breathing individual, but it's also
Yes.
using common sense to connect the dots. Look at where the stories intersect on both sides, Jeff.
Absolutely.
But anyways, yeah, don't be weird.
All right. So, man, FTR Briscoe's double dog collar match. The thing was written in blood. We're obviously getting blood. I would be shocked if there was no blood in this match. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a bloody ass match. It's gonna be fucking. Yeah. I was funny because they announced this match and like Jeff once again, old man moment, texted me during the middle of Dynamite tonight. He's like, "Bro, I just realized I'm working at Curly's till 4 p.m." I'm like, Jeff, we've talked about this for months. You didn't think to let Curly know that on this Saturday you're gonna have to leave at like 2:00? Like
I wouldn't have had a choice because the wife works there as well, and we can't both leave early. So it's like, I'm screwed either way. Got to figure out what we're gonna do.
The wife could stay. Let the wife stay at work. She'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll figure it out here.
Yeah, I imagine when they announced FTR versus Briscoe's dog collar, you had Curly on speed dial. I mean, he's in the house, but you'd have Curly on speed dial and just be like, I gotta leave at 2:00.
I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow. I'm pretty sure he's sleeping right now, but I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow and tell him I'll come in early if I can leave early. That should work.
I think if you leave at 2, that should be fine, Jeff. I'm actually working on Saturday too, but I'm leaving at 2. So,
Okay.
so you leave at 2, I leave at 2. I'll probably get to my house before you do, like by like 10, 15 minutes, because I'm up in Ben Salem right now. So, we both leave our places at 2. You bring the food. I'll get home. I'll order the pay-per-view. Starts at 3. I think we can make it work.
Cool. I'll let you know. All right. So what do we have lined up for Rampage?
Okay, give me 1 second and let me pull this up for us.
Well, here, real quick, while you're grabbing the Rampage stuff. Speaking of Rampage, on Rampage is when we are going to do our prediction show for the Winter is Coming show. That'll be Joseph Juhas versus Coach Nick. So Joseph Juhas has actually sent us a quick video to play here real fast. Coach Nick, I haven't seen him in chat here tonight yet, but once you watch this, this is what we'll need you to respond to on Friday night, sir.
All right, I got a free minute. So, no gimmicks needed. The Juhas. I'm here to talk about the coach, and I'm here to talk about the king. So let's get down to brass tacks. King, I hope your cronies in your inner circle are as good as you say they are. And coach, I hope you can call these matches better than you can call plays. I did a scouting report, and obviously, it's coming back nil. So let's hope that you got what you need. Because I'm going to take you down, and then I'm coming for the king. And Jeff, everything you're doing, it's useless. I don't need you. I don't need anything you got. But just remember, I'm coming for all of you. Again, no gimmicks needed. Out.
All right, no gimmicks needed from Juhas. I don't even know what I did. I'm not even involved in this, but
So, a few things for my good friend Juhas, right? So, number one, Jeff, he's correct about one thing. You're a geek.
True.
Anyways, I don't know where Juhas is coming from with this slander, trying to slander me, King Rome, and the King's Court. Here at the King's Court, I'm a fighting champion. I win my championship at Full Gear, and what do? I book my number one contendership match for my first challenger. And I have a lot of respect for Juhas. I did not book Coach for a gimme win here. If I wanted to do that, Jeff, I would have booked him against you. I don't understand where Juas is coming from here. I'm just trying to create good competition on the podcast. I think Juas is a smart guy. I can't wait to see what Coach has to say about this. But I mean, I don't know why Juas thinks he needs to come at the champ. I'm the only two-time champ in this podcast's history. And if he happens to get past the Coach, I look forward to facing him in an even contest of predictions.
All right. Well, there you have it. So we will get the response from the Coach on Friday before we do our AEW Rampage review. And then after the review, we will do the prediction show. Joseph Juhas versus Coach Nick. All right. So now what do we got going on for Rampage this Friday?
Well, this week on Rampage, we will have Orange Cassidy defend the All-Atlantic Championship. It is not announced who yet. We will have sorry.
It's an opponent of Kip Sabian's choice, correct?
Yes, that was the idea.
Okay.
I feel like they might go with Blade, though. I feel like Blade might be a safe.
That's a great pick. Great pick.
Or Butcher, I'm sorry. Butcher. Butcher might be the way to go.
Either one of those guys.
One of those two, I think, is the way they're going to go.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Regina D-Wave Championship. Hikaru Shida will defend her title against the Bunny. The winner will go on to face Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's Championship. We will hear from Ruby Soho and Ty Mello. Lee Moriarty and Big Bill Morrissey will be in action.
Are they calling him Big Bill?
Big Bill is the nickname they're pushing, but on the graphic they put W Morrissey. So okay. I don't know what they're pushing there. We will hear from Athena. John Moxley's open challenge has been answered, Jeff, and he will this Friday on Rampage face Konosuke Takeshita. They also reminded us that 0 Hour for Ring of Honor Final Battle will start this Saturday at 3 p.m. Matches that they went through for the card: Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Dalton Castle and the boys will defend their Ring of Honor six-man tag championships against Gates of Agony and Brian Cage. Daniel Garcia will defend his Pure Championship against Wheeler Yuta. Samoa Joe will defend his television championship against Juice Robinson. Mercedes Martinez will defend her world title against Athena. Shane Taylor Promotions will face Swerve in Our Glory. And then they also gave us a preview for next week's Dynamite, which is Winter is Coming. Game 4 of the Death Triangle versus the Elite. The House of Black will be in action. And we will also get, for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, winner takes all, also the Diamond Ring, MJF versus Ricky Starks.
Okay, so that makes sense when you say it that way, winner takes all. I kind of like the way that they did that. So it kind of ties it up a little bit, but, you know.
Right. No, I mean, I get it. You know.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right. Anything else that you got lined up for us tonight?
No, not really. It was a great episode of Dynamite. I'm looking forward to the pay-per-view this weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, Tony Khan saying that he's going to be talking about the Ring of Honor TV deal after Final Battle or on Saturday. So I would expect we get some sort of deal. I had a thought process, actually, that kind of really just... It's an interesting thought process, right? But so Tony Khan signed the Briscoes to this new Ring of Honor. Like he signed them.
Mm-hmm.
But Warner Brothers doesn't want the Briscoes on TV, which is why the Briscoes match was announced tonight the way it was. So that way you don't have to have the Briscoes on their television. If Ring of Honor is getting a TV deal and the Briscoes are a part of that company, that roster, do you think, and this is the first time I'm thinking of it this way, do you think it's possible that Ring of Honor ends up on a TV station that is not a Warner Brothers Discovery TV channel?
You know, I want to say that's not possible, but it truly could be. I don't know. It's definitely definitely an issue if Warner doesn't want them on TV. But I don't think that's true anymore. I think Warner has been convinced that they put out their apology. The fans still love the Briscoes. Nobody's out there trying to cancel these guys, and it's well known, what they said back in the day. I actually think Warner may have kind of relaxed on their stance on that. A lot of these companies are kind of relaxing their, I guess, wokeness, I guess I would call it. They're kind of relaxing a little bit on that nowadays.
I hate that term. It's just stupid.
I know. It's just nothing else I can call it. I don't know what to say.
It's just a dumb term.
Yeah. All right. So the Coog says here, Sheeta defending that Regina D Wave title versus the Bunnies, a great way to introduce AEW fans to the Joshi promotions and their superb talent. Absolutely. AEW absolutely finishing strong in 2022, and says maybe True TV. Oh, that could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
I thought about that. I don't think Ring of Honor is going to be on TBS or TNT.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to be on either of those. That's a good. Yeah, we'll see where it's going to be. I'm hoping we announce maybe a streaming service at the same time, and that's part of the streaming service. That would be a great idea on Warner's part. They already have the streaming service.
Well, so apparently HBO Max is going to be changing its name to just Max, and like that's just begging to have MJF be on a commercial for HBO Max.
Yeah, but like, doesn't Warner Paramount already have their own Paramount app? Like, there's already an app you can do. I think.
Paramount isn't a part of the Warner Brothers.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, you're thinking of Discovery Plus. But so apparently they're going to
that's
rename
right,
their entire streaming service into just Max, which I saw a tweet today. Excuse me. Saw a tweet today, and it was definitely weird because somebody pointed out, like, why do they keep trying to not use the HBO name? Because HBO literally stands for home box office. Like,
Yeah.
that's the perfect name for a streaming service. And they're getting rid of the HBO part of it. And I'm like, that's weird. And I agreed with that tweet. I don't remember who tweeted it. But
Like getting rid of Blockbuster, man. Like, why? Blockbuster was dope.
yeah, but video rental kind of went out of style. So that's.
Oh, I know. Just Netflix showed up. Blockbuster should have just moved to the internet like Netflix did. That's all.
Yeah.
But all right, that's gonna do it for me. It is almost midnight here. Got to get to bed for work tomorrow. So go ahead and close this out, sir.
All right. Well, this has been episode 97 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you like this video, please give it a like or subscribe or follow, depending on where you find us. Thank you to everyone who hung out with us live here tonight, like the Coog, Sabak, Meduja. DC was here earlier. Purple hung out with us. Joe Juhas on his birthday hung out with us tonight. And everyone else in between. Thank you to everyone who's not here live with us, but checking us out in the future, like the coach. Juhas laid down the challenge, so I can't wait to see what Coach comes up with here. But anyways, thank you everyone to checking us out on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. You can follow us on our social media down below in the description. We go live on every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and even pay-per-views, with Ring of Honor Final Battle happening this Saturday at 3 p.m. for the 0 hour. We hope to see everybody then, but until next time, check you guys later. Or catch you guys later. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Till next time. Top guys out.